Hello, this is AMIR. Today we are going to talk about 5 commands you need to know to interact with online repositories. So let's get started. Here I create an online repository on GitHub. It gives me the URL of this repo and it also gives me some instruction on how to sync the repository with the local project. Now let's start with our 5 commands. The first one is git remote. Remotes are the online repositories that you track. If your project is local and you want to upload it online, then you should set a remote address. In order to add a new remote, you just need to run this command: git remote add name and the URL. The default name for most of the online repositories is origin. So here we also name our remote origin. And as for the URL, at this moment, even if you write a random URL like google.com, it's not going to give you an error. But later, when you want to update the local repo with the online repo, it will give you an error because the online URL you've provided is not a Git repository. Okay, let me create a new file and commit the changes. If we run git remote v, we can see the list of remotes and their URL. Great. The next command we are going to talk about is Git Push. It's like uploading all your local updates to the online repository. Git Push, the name of remote and the branch you want to push. Here I'm sending the master branch. In GitHub, the master branch is sometimes called main branch. Here I'm already signed in with GitHub and GitHub knows that I'm the owner of this repository. Otherwise, you can't just push to the master branch of repositories that you are not the owner. Let me create a new branch to show you what would happen when you push a new branch. This would be similar to when you push to another person's repository. When I push the new branch, this will create a branch in the online repo as well. And then in the online repository, you can make a pull request and then merge it or not. The next command we are going to talk about is Git Fetch. This one downloads all the new commands from the online repository to your local repository, but doesn't merge them. Afterwards, you should merge them yourself. Here, let me add the origin and let's run Git Fetch. Now, as you can see, there is no file in my local repo. And if I run git branch, it doesn't show me any branches. After a git fetch, if you want to see the branches, you should run the git branch command with flag R. And now you can see the list of downloaded branches. It's time for you to go and merge them with your local repository by running git merge origin and the branch name, which here is master. Now you can see all the files in the local repository as well. The next command we are going to talk about is git pull. It's like git fetch, but it also merges the new updates. It's like running the command git fetch and git merge together. Here I initialize a new git repository and add the remote. Then we run the command git pull. You can see all the files in the master branch. The last command we are going to talk about is Git Clone. It's like completely downloading a Git project to your computer. To do that, we run the command Git Clone and the URL. We don't need to initialize a Git repository first. Here it created a new folder with the repository name. And if I go inside it, I can see the files. Also, if I run git remote v, I can see that it has automatically added the remotes as well. And when I run git branch with flag R, it shows me all the branches as well. Let's see if I can add a new file to our online repository. And yes, I can. Perfect. Just a quick recap. We talked about the 5 commands that you need to know in order to interact with an online repository. Git remote to add the URL of an online repo. Git fetch to download the data from the online repo, but it doesn't merge it. Git pull to download the data from online repo and merge them. Git push to upload the data to the online repo. Git clone to download the whole repository. And finally, if you liked what you learned, please like and subscribe. That would be a great motivation to do more videos. If you have any suggestions or questions, please leave a comment below and I try to answer them as soon as possible. That's it. Have a wonderful day.